Bourdain used to say that as an adult, you should be able to cook for you and at least 3 other people. And I'm here to help you with that. Welcome to Party of the Season. So planning a dinner party can be intimidating because you're like, I don't know what goes together, I don't know what to put together, and a really good way to think about it is you want a protein, a starch, a veg, and a sauce. That is a really, really complete feeling plate when you have all of those things. In addition to our mains, we're gonna do a starter, which is gonna be a Mayan pumpkin seed dip, which is a super fun way to incorporate pumpkin in a non-traditional way into this fall meal. And then we're also gonna do baked apples with brown butter and pecans. So delicious. It uses all those wonderful warm spices you think of when you think of fall, and it's just going to be an excellent way to start and end our beautiful fall meal. We're starting with 2 make-ahead dishes that you can make up to 3 days ahead of time. All right, guys, let's get cooking. First things first, we're going to make our Mayan pumpkin seed dip. This is going to be our starter. It's what's going to keep everybody entertained while you're getting those perfect final touches on your main courses, all right? So I've got 5 ounces of pepitas in here. We're going to make sure they're in a nice even layer, and we're going to watch for them to get some color on them. That's what we want. The color on there is going to be flavor, but we want to make sure we don't burn them because they'll get super bitter if we do. They're turning like a really beautiful brown. They smell super toasty, and so we are going to get those into our food processor. We're going to get a little bit of oil in here. We're going to throw in our jalapeno, our garlic, and shallot. And we're going to get those nice and sauteed up. That we're going to get it into our mixer. And we're gonna add about a 1/2 cup of roughly chopped parsley, a 1/2 cup of flat leaf parsley. Important that it's flat leaf parsley. Flat leaf has so much flavor, and we really want as much flavor as we can get out of these herbs. We are going to grate some lemon zest in, and there we go. We've got lemon zest right there. We're gonna use about 3/4 of a lemon there. Gonna hit it with some salt. We've got some pepper going in, and a 1/2 cup of water. And after we've got our initial blend, we're gonna add the juice of 1 lemon. Nice and creamy, perfect. Make ahead dish number 2, we're going with dessert. Y'all, we've got brown butter spice baked apples. Come on, come on. This sounds so good. I've got 1 tablespoon of butter here, and we're gonna get our pan nice and greased. We're gonna slice these right down the middle, okay? We're gonna scoop out the core. We're gonna cut a little piece right here, so that will sit perfectly in our dish. Okay, making our sauce. We've got 1 stick of butter going into our skillet. All right, you hear that? We're cooking with our ears again. That's foamy. Okay, when you hear that, we're a little foamy. So I'm gonna add in a 4th teaspoon of cinnamon here, 4th teaspoon of 5 spice. I'm gonna grate in a 4th teaspoon of fresh nutmeg, and we're gonna get that going. Okay, we are starting to brown a little bit down here. Yep. We're gonna add in our sugar. This smells so good. It's like coming in from school in November when your mom has been like prepping for Thanksgiving. Like this is that. Like this is what that smells like. Then we're gonna cut a lemon, 2 tablespoons, just a little bit of salt. We're gonna take our sauce here off the heat. We're gonna spoon our sauce over our apples. I'm gonna cover these in foil, and they're gonna go into the oven for 40 minutes on 375. These apples are gonna release their juices and make the most delicious little sauce in the bottom of that. I cannot wait. Our app is done. Our dessert is done. Let's move on to our heroes. Let's get this going, okay? I've got boiling water going. I'm gonna add some salt to that. Heavily salt this water. Our potatoes are going in here, along with a little bit of garlic. Here we go. We're gonna take our butternut squash, put it on a pan here. We want to get everything in a nice even layer. We want as much surface area on the pan as possible, okay? That's gonna give us nice caramelization on that. And then we're gonna grab some olive oil. Olive oil on there. We are gonna grab some salt. We want this to be nice and flavorful, heavy hand on that salt, and we're gonna give that a toss. We're going in the oven for about 25 minutes at 425. We really want there to be some brown on this and these guys to be nice and soft. We've got our boiling water right here. We're gonna go in with our Yukon Gold potatoes. We've got some oil going into the bottom here, and then we've got a 2.5 pound pork loin roast here. We are gonna get this guy nice and salted up, all right? Now we only wanna put salt on here right now because we're gonna sear this. And when we sear it, we want it to be hot enough to burn everything but salt. Does it look like I'm salting it a lot? Yes, it does, because you should be salting your meat this much, okay? You don't get any flavor on the inside of the meat here, and so we want to salt the outside really well so you can get that carryover flavor in there. Okay, so we got a little bit of smoke going in there. Here we go. We're going into the pan. As much surface area as possible. There we go. That's what you want to hear. You want super solid sizzle when it goes in. That's how you know it's getting brown. It's cooking the way you want it to. Oh yeah. Yes, that's what we want. We want that beautiful dark brown color right there. And once our water comes back up to a simmer, we're gonna throw 3 to 4 garlic cloves in with our potatoes to get nice and soft so we can put those through the ricer too. We have got this gorgeous, beautifully browned loin roast going down right there. And then we're gonna go in with our onions and our mushroom. And remember, we added so much salt to that pork loin, a lot of that is in the bottom of this. So be careful with your salt here, okay? So we're just gonna add a pinch of salt to everybody to get everybody going in here. Got all this fond on the bottom here, and all the mushrooms are gonna release their liquid, and it's gonna bring all that up, and that is just the best flavor in the world. It's so, so delicious. I've got 5 cloves of crushed garlic right here. Garlic will burn so easily. So we're putting that in last, right before we add in our wine and our stock. Right, we have got a Muscat dessert wine here. It is going in. And we're gonna get the rest of that fond off of the bottom. Y'all, we are nice and reduced here. I'm gonna go in with a bundle of rosemary and thyme. We're gonna tuck that in right there. We are going to add in 8 3-inch strips of orange zest. This is probably my favorite ingredient in this besides the wine. It just adds so much and gives it such a pop. God, oh, I wish you could, there. It smells so good. Go in here with a cup of chicken stock. Bringing that back up to a boil. We're gonna put this guy right back in here. Top on, into the oven at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes or until your internal temperature on your pork roast hits 130. Our potatoes are steaming, our butternut squash is cooking, our pork loin is in the oven. We are ready to put together our salad. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in the bottom of this bowl here. I'm gonna grate 2 teaspoons of orange zest in here. And I love that this has fresh orange zest in it because we have cooked orange zest in our pork loin, and it's just gonna have a really nice contrast. I'm gonna cut this open and squeeze about 1.5 tablespoons. A little salt, a little bit of pepper. I'm gonna take a small clove of garlic. I'm gonna go in here with it. We're gonna take our olive oil and we're gonna drizzle it in until everything's nice and emulsified. And then we're gonna take our fennel, we're gonna dump it in there. And you wanna do this about 15 to 20 minutes before everything's about to be ready. Then we're gonna throw in some of our red onion right here. So just give it a toss. Some flat leaf parsley. Say a little more pepper, a little more salt, another toss. See how much that green does? Like it just adds so much to the look. It adds so much to the flavor. Parsley goes so well with lemon, so well with fennel. This is gonna be really nice. And that is a really beautiful fennel and red onion salad. Pork loin is out. It registered right at 130. We are gonna put this over here to rest. Our gorgeous sauce here, I'm gonna give it a taste. There is so much depth in there. Wine, citrus, herb, umami from the mushrooms. It is everything. So while this is resting, we're gonna get our final dish done. We're gonna get our mash put together so it's nice, creamy, and hot, ready to go for the table. We've got heavy cream, 2 cups going into this, 1 stick of butter, pepper, salt, rosemary, and thyme. We're gonna gently bring this up to being very warm. We're gonna let that butter melt in there and let all of our herbs and spices steep. Next, we grab our potatoes, and we're gonna put these guys through a ricer. This is one of my favorite kitchen tools. It's the best way to make mashed potatoes. Look at that. They're gonna be perfect. So we've got some really beautiful color here on our butternut squash. That is so much flavor. It's gonna be really, really good, and it's very, very soft. So we're gonna get this in here, get it processed up, and get it mixed in with our potatoes and cream. We've got our butternut squash, our potato. We're gonna add in our cream and butter. Don't add it all, just in case. Let's add in some salt. There's gonna be some really nice caramelized bits of butternut squash in here that are just gonna sing with that sauce that we've got over there to get us all incorporated. Okay, so we've got our butternut squash and potato mash here. Gonna go down like that. I'm gonna create a little well here for my sauce. I'm I'm gonna grab a couple of pieces of our pork loin here. Let's grab some mushrooms and some sauce. Let's grab some of our salad here. Fennel, the red onions, the Parmesan on there. This looks like a plate here, folks. This is fall, autumnal, if you will. I'm gonna cut some of our pork loin here. Mushroom, onion. Oh my goodness. That pork is so tender. That is so nice and heavy and comforting. And then you dive into that pairs so well with the pork, the fennel, everything, and it lightens everything up. It offers a crunch. That is a perfect fall plate, really. What I'm really looking forward to here, though, is trying our pumpkin seed dip. Try this. Holy not guacamole. That is delicious. So very different, and I can guarantee you that most of your friends have not had a pumpkin seed dip. This is fantastic. Now we've got our baked apples. Here we go. If you've ever had an apple dumpling, it's like that, but more fall, more focused on the apple because there's no pastry, and I kind of really love that because I just love apples, and I want them to be like the fall go-to, you know what I mean? And again, with some super easy prep, guys, this is the perfect fall menu for a fall dinner party to celebrate the season. And I hope you've enjoyed this party of the season. Till next time, guys, we'll see y'all later.